Good day, and welcome to another episode on Game Tech Electronics Hobby House. Soldering, is it bad for your health? The short answer is yes, it is. Check out the description below. I will link a document that will give you a better understanding of how bad it really is, since symptoms can be anywhere from a short period of time or even show up later, up to 16 years later in fact. Well, for starters, don't be silly and at least circulate the air around you if you don't have a fan or anything available to you to either push the smoke away from you or suck it up into a filter system. Try to at least be in a well-ventilated area where you stand back just a little bit more than usual, and if a plume of smoke does arise near your face, feel free to use your mouth to blow it away from your face and work area. Now there is tons of products on the market which I have not tested because, well, the prices at times are too expensive for my liking. So that brings us to today's project. Today we will be 3D printing our own Fume Extractor workstation, which later we can revisit, add more safety to it, but for today we will design a unit that will suck the solder fumes from the working area through a set of cheap filters to dissipate or at least some of the fumes from being able to enter our lungs. So if you're a parent or someone interested in soldering and having fun with electronics, please work safe. Kids out there, please make sure you let your parents know if you need some sort of fan. A small desk fan will do, or if you can help with either making or checking out some of the options for fume extractors out there that would best suit your needs. You could even print out the PDF link in the description to be able to give them as well. Now, I will be downsizing my shop at some point here and wanted an all-in-one solution for a soldering station setup, so I thought it would be a good time to start prototyping a design. Let's head over to the computer and have a peek at the design. Then I will get printing it so we can see how things will come together. So remember, if you've not hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do that now. Your support is what keeps me making these videos. So if you're a subscriber, thanks, for your support, and always remember, post any questions and comments below. I always read them. The first thing I wanted to do was make something I could store anywhere and be able to grab it and put it on my bench and have a nice safe soldering environment. So it had to be strong. I had a bunch of 3/4 inch conduit scrap pieces and recycled pieces from my mostly printed CNC machine, so that's what we'll use as our main support system for the unit, and possibly add some more accessories to the unit in another video. Now I have the materials I want to use. I need some parts. First thing I will need is some fans for the back. As you can see here, this is where I'm going to be putting my fans. I've managed to design it up in a manner that once this cap is on, that fan will be completely blocked. The only thing I didn't design up yet is the cable coming from the fan, how to make that look pretty at the back here. I'll figure that out in either a redesign or adding on another attachment onto the back and seeing how it goes. So I decided to use some 80mm fans I picked up from Best Buy. They're house branded Insignia fans, which then I could have added some fan grills to the back as well. So I picked up some cheap ones on Amazon so I wouldn't put my finger into the fan blade while it's running. Filter, I designed a 3-piece system which would make it so the cheap filter I found that would work for this project. Now in theory I think it should work, but it might obstruct the airflow a bit, so I might have to redesign my filter system later as well. What's going to happen is the 3/4 inch conduit is going to come out of the bottom here, and it's going to attach to 2 of these pieces right here. Now, I wanted something where you could attach any sort of plate you wanted to on top of it. So if you have different soldering needs, or if you want to do some wood burning and want something, you know, stronger on the bottom, you could swap out the plates. So I made a quick connect system for this, so that way once I get my initial size of my bed that I want, then I can reproduce and design things for adding things such as my helping hands to it, or other things as well. So that will go through there, and this was my original one right here. If you look, I originally just did a block, but I didn't. Then after I printed it, I'm like, well, how am I going to mount the top board to it? And that's when I came up with the design for this here, being able to actually screw these supports onto the top plate. And yeah, so this piece here is no longer needed, yet I do have it printed, but I'll use it as a reference later on as well. So with most of the electronics selected, I probably will use a few switches mounted in a housing on the front, but for now we'll just get the main body design completed and printed. As you can see here, I've made a few different accessories for it. This one here is for an overhead fan extraction system, which I will be putting a light in there as well. The light will be able to kind of light up what you're working on below. And there's a bunch of other attachments that I want to do. So for the front control panel, this is what I originally started with here, but I'm finding it to be more of a nuisance than anything. So what I'm going to do is get it together and see how much room I need for my switches and everything, and then I'll redesign my case here for the front, because I don't want too much obstructing the actual working area. That way that you have as much room possible to be able to work on. As you can see, there's not that much here. It didn't take me too long to design. So now on to the printing part, and we just skip that, head over to the bench and have a look at the parts all printed, and then we can see how it all fits together. Let's have a quick look at the pieces that have been printed. This is the main fan housing filter system here, which also has the hole at the top here for the piece of conduit to go into. And then we will have this top plate here, which will go on top of it like that, allowing for the conduit to still come out the top here. Now, I have to clean that up yet, so I will do that at the final portion. So this is what I was originally going to use, was a block like this, and then have the top plate connected to the conduit. But then I decided I would do something like this, where the conduit can go through, and then I can adjust if I need to make my bed size bigger or smaller as well. So I'll have 2 of these guys here, like so, and then this guy on here, and then I'll have my front plate as well, which will house my power switch and any sort of fan control, or if I want to add an extension up top here for a hood that I started designing in SketchUp as well, I'll be able to add that as well. So okay, so here is the filter grates that I printed, and basically it's just going to be these guys here with some air vent filters that will be sandwiched between it, and then these will go into the front. Now I'm not sure if I need 2 of them for each side, but that's kind of what I went with. But yeah, we'll go with that for now. Unfortunately, I think that's gonna have to do, but we can always redesign whatever after and then go from there, right? It's not the end of the world. We're just creating this as we go. So I have a bunch of these 80mm Insignia fans that I'm going to use for the intake and outtake of the exhaust. Now, after thinking about it, I was like, well, we could probably do a better idea when it comes to the actual exhausting of it into another container or something like that. But I think this will do pretty good, but we'll see what happens. I haven't tested it. It's all 100% in the prototyping stages. This isn't final. We're going to play with it. We're going to fix whatever is not right, and we'll go from there. So this is the first part. Now, we've got the fans. They should slide in there fairly nice and just kind of click in there. We just want to make sure the exhaust on the fan is going in the right direction because we want it to go out. So this part here needs to be on the inside. And as you can see, it's got a nice fit. And there we go. We've got the fan grills in there, or the fans in there. That should do. And then at the back here, what we'll do is eventually we'll add those grates to the back here. I have those right here, and that will just go on the back, covering that so you don't put your fingers in there. Not that you would, but just in case. Safety first. So that'll go there. And this is, I just found the cheapest filtered stuff I could. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I figured I'll try this air vent filter. And yeah, I can always change that out after. I can always change the method I use for putting it together. I just wanted to do it this way because then I prevent anything from any of the materials from the air vent actually going into the fan blades as well. And then just to tidy up the front of it and make it look a little bit better. That top plate will fit over top of it here and sandwich it all together and make it all pretty. But I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the wires yet. I have not come up with anything with that yet. So for now, I'm going to probably just have them come out the back here and then route them over or something. Maybe I'll put a hole through something. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out. And then I'll just have a cover for it, and eventually they will end up running down the lengths of the conduit there to the front control panel. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start getting this together, and we'll give it a test and see what happens here. I'm going to go ahead and get the air vent cut and all the parts cleaned up a little bit more so that way they all fit together nicely, and then we'll run the conduit and see how long we want to make that, and then maybe I'll see if I have time today and I will make a plate just for fun and see how that goes. Maybe I'll make it out of wood so that way I can just have a little plate there of something so you can get an idea of how it looks. And then 3D print, that way I have a template as well of where the holes are going to go and the sizing, and then there we go. So I'm going to get to it here. Alright, here we go. I definitely need a fan or some sort of blower that has definitely a lot more torque, so I'm going to do some research on that. But this was certainly a fun project to kind of play around with and see what happened. All in all, I tried the fans in the front and in the back. Both produced not ideal solution for this, for a 12-volt unit. Okay, so it didn't really go as planned. I think there's a lot I can do to kind of change it up and make this concept work. But at this point, do I really want to, or do I want to attempt another design? So what do you think? Post in the comments section below. Let me know. Should I continue building on this, or should I just scrap it completely and start new? So thanks for watching, everyone. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Take care, eh?